It's not AI, but when the computer assisted artwork interferes with your enjoyment of the story, you know you've got issues. Let's talk about it. Hey everyone, it's FANzine Live. This is Tom. We are looking at crowdfunded zines today, and we are taking a look at Fully Loaded. There Goes the Future by Jimmy Broxton from Verity Comics. This was a crowdfunded purchase off of Zoop, which is one of the competitors to Kickstarter. They do a different style of Kickstarter. They do a lot of their work in-house. And so, as I understand it, you send your books to Zoop and they do all the fulfillment for you. I could be wrong on that. I haven't used either, and so I just go with what I kind of understand. Neat cover on this. You've got kind of the zeros and ones of a computer binary type system all coming out in like a flame type pattern, and I'll let the light kind of shine down and you can see how it all comes out. So looks kind of neat. The inside of the book is black and white. It's a little larger than a standard comic book, but not so much larger. I mean, for example, here's a copy of Zdarsky Comic News. Yeah, I mean, it is barely bigger. So it's basically comic size. The story does its best to play with the cyberpunk tropes. It kind of gets lost a little bit in its own world building. Can I say it's my favorite that I've ever read in the world of cyberpunk? I'm not sure about that. The art, I started out reading this and thinking, wow, this is really something. Clearly, we've got a digital photo of the Earth, but the superimposition looks really neat. As I got deeper and deeper into the book, and you can even see it here. It appears that only one image was drawn. And then using computer graphics, you copy the image, you throw it down somewhere else, rotate it a little bit, shrink it a little bit, and you now have two. Turn it into a silhouette, you now have three. That is something you will note throughout a lot of this book. But you can't deny, I mean, look at that spread. This is really impressive. So this is the opening piece where they kind of explain the backstory of what's happened in this particular world. And I gather that a massive number of cities and people were destroyed. And so they tried to rebuild society, and it didn't go entirely according to plan. And they say human nature had something to do with it. This page is very illustrative of some of the issues I had with the book. I hate to do this, but when you have a 1950s era car with no wheels flying around, it's the Fifth Element. And so you got an obvious Fifth Element swipe, and that you'll see throughout. I mean, you got it here, you got it there. So that's one thing. But then the other that kind of I found odd was you have multiple art styles going on. The way in which this face is constructed is entirely different than the line work used to create this face. But there's no denying. I mean, this is some incredible kinetic stuff. I think this opening scene, this very Mad Max type of scene, probably is my favorite part of the book. Our guy here, I believe his name is Blake, is something resembling a hitman or a mercenary, I guess you would say. I know we've got our space shuttles. He must have found some good space shuttle artwork. Cute, interesting way to have a shuttle port. take a look at this art here. The way in which this guy is drawn is entirely different, again, than the way this guy is drawn. This almost looks like an Argentinian, almost like a breccia type style, perhaps maybe a 1960s DC style, or maybe one of the old classic newspaper strip artists. This is entirely modern. You see this female face, it's the same thing. When you have that, and this looks a lot like a Frank Miller piece, as does this. I'd have to place it. I'm guessing it's a Sin City type of thing. But when you see these things and the homages, or some would say swipes, when they're this obvious, or when the car looks exactly the same in multiple images, right in sequence with each other, I don't know. I just don't know. It's basically a mob story. The Hotel Chaikin, named after Howard Chaikin. There's a lot of visual reference to Howard Chaikin's work in this. And there's also another spot where Ken Bruzenak, his letterer, was given a shout out as well. The characters just don't entirely look like they were, like, for example, there's another one right there. It's not AI, but man, if we're going from this type of a face and this type of artwork to that type of artwork, either the artist is incredibly talented or there's something else going on. Again, you've got the same exact face, cut and paste. In fact, it's even here and here as well. It's the same face. It rubs me wrong. It distracts from what I'm trying to read. But there's no getting over. I mean, this is some gorgeous stuff. The person jumping off the building, I hate to say it, but that looks like that's the Twin Towers footage. Same face. Take the time. Open the guy's mouth. Change his position a little bit. Change the shading a little bit. It just doesn't look right. This looks like the I'll buy that for $1 guy from RoboCop. Do you like the shout out to the Tesla Cybervan or Cybertruck or whatever that is, the rolling dumpster? It's a flying version, but there's no question what that is. This is Willie Nelson. I mean, the character is not Willie Nelson, but that is Willie Nelson. I don't know how else to say it. So I'm now at the end of the book, and I've been reading this all along, and I'm thinking to myself, this guy's just doing nothing but swipes. But then I look at this, and in his notes, he's clearly doing layouts. Now, maybe he's pasting that car in, or maybe he's pasting in some of the different layers, but he's clearly doing the work. It's just the finished product needs a little extra love. You can't just drop that cab onto what appears to be a rainy scene and not have any rain on it. Same with that cab. The characters that I thought, I mean, like this guy, the I'll buy that for $1 guy, maybe it's not. Maybe it's not the guy from RoboCop. And truthfully, I kind of like his sketching. I think that some of the work in here didn't have to have been done this way. I don't know what to tell you, folks. Kind of at a loss for words. It's not AI, but I'm not sure it's entirely original artwork. In the story, it's okay. So that's my take. What do you think, folks? You haven't probably had a chance to read this, but from what you've seen, give me your feelings. I went pretty hard on this one. I try not to, but we pay a lot of money for these crowdfunded zines. Especially when you have a nice trade paperback style book like this. I mean, these things don't come cheap, and you want to make sure you get a high quality product. Physically, it's a high quality product. I mean, beautiful blacks and whites and glossy paper, glossy cardstock cover. I mean, the whole thing is great. I'm just not sure about the creative end. Why don't you go ahead and try liking the video, subscribe to FANzine Live, and tell your friends, because this has a lot of lessons that we all can learn about making comics, and especially, maybe the word I'm looking for is authenticity. How to make comics look authentic, even when you're playing with digital tools. This one, I think, falls down a little on that front. I shouldn't get to the end of the thing and be more thinking about the art and the construction, the physical construction of the book, the technical construction of the book, especially when it's clear that the guy can draw and he's done the work. I don't know. It's weird. Thanks for watching, everybody. This is Tom. This is FANzine Live Crowdfunded Zines. Sometimes we hit them, sometimes we don't, but we take a look at them nonetheless. Again, have a great day. I will catch you next time.